Welcome to Miracles of Kindness, the channel where one small act can change an entire life. Today's story reminds us that wisdom doesn't always come from wealth or power. Sometimes it comes from the most unexpected voice. When a beggar girl cried, "Don't eat that," a billionaire almost ignored her, until one moment forced him to see the truth. Stay with us, because this story will change how you see kindness forever. The billionaire had everything: money, power, respect. That afternoon, he sat calmly at a luxury street cafe, lifting his fork toward an expensive meal. People stared with admiration. Then suddenly, a trembling voice cut through the silence. "Don't eat that!" A beggar girl stood nearby, dirty, frightened, ignored by everyone else. The billionaire frowned, annoyed. Why would he listen to his street child? Security moved closer to remove her, but something was wrong. Her eyes weren't begging for food, they were begging for time, and that single moment of hesitation would soon save his life. He laughed at first. A billionaire being warned by a beggar girl? Ridiculous. Years of success had taught him one thing: never listen to the weak. But the girl didn't move. Her hands shook as she stared at the plate. "Please," she whispered. "I've seen this before." Her fear was real. Not hunger, not madness, fear. As the fork hovered in the air, the billionaire felt something unfamiliar doubt. And doubt forced him to stop. The beggar girl recognized the smell instantly. It reminded her of the night her mother never woke up. Back then, no one listened either. Now she screamed, risking a beating, arrest, even death. People mocked her, but she didn't care, because she knew what that food could do. When the billionaire finally looked closely at his plate, his confident expression slowly collapsed into horror. Time seemed to freeze. The fork was inches from his mouth. The cafe buzzed, cameras flashed, and then clang. The plate hit the ground. Silence followed. The billionaire stared down, confused and angry, until something on the food caught his eye. Something no chef would ever allow. In that moment, he realized the beggar girl hadn't interrupted his lunch. She had interrupted his funeral. Laboratory tests confirmed it. The meal was poisoned. Someone close to him wanted him gone. The billionaire sat alone that night, replaying the moment again and again. Not the poison, but the girl's face. If she hadn't spoken up, he would be dead. And no amount of money could buy back that moment. The smallest voice had exposed the biggest betrayal. He searched the streets for her the next day. The same girl people stepped over. The same girl no one saw. When he finally found her, he knelt down, not as a billionaire, but as a man who owed his life. She didn't ask for money. She only said, "I didn't want you to die." That sentence broke something inside him. For the first time, the billionaire understood a painful truth. Power had made him blind. Wealth had made him deaf. Kindness, only kindness, had saved him. He offered the girl safety, education, and a future. But more importantly, he offered respect, something she had never received before. News spread quickly. People praised the billionaire for his generosity, but he knew the truth. The hero was a beggar girl with nothing to gain and everything to lose. Her courage rewrote two destinies, hers and his. From that day on, he changed how he treated the invisible people of the world. Years later, the billionaire would tell this story again and again. Not as a warning about poison, but as a reminder. Wisdom doesn't always wear a suit. Truth doesn't always come from power. Sometimes it comes from a trembling voice saying, "Don't eat that." That day, a beggar girl saved a billionaire's life, but in return, she gave him something even greater: a heart that finally learned to listen. Because miracles don't always come from heaven. Sometimes they stand right in front of us, ignored, unheard, waiting for kindness to choose them. If this story touched your heart, remember this: kindness has no status, no price, and no boundaries. Like, share, and subscribe to Miracles of Kindness. Because every miracle begins when someone chooses to care.